What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Motorfest. So in this video, I do want to go over a pretty decent hot topic, I would say. And of course, there's obviously going to be lots of discussions around this, but I do want to know what you guys think about this in the comments below. Do you think Motorfest has any cheating going on? And or like some type of, I guess you could say, like exploiting certain things? But I really do think in certain areas, guys, we are most likely seeing some type of cheating, whether that's like in races, and or different things like in skills and stuff like that. Now, the one thing is I have to admit is obviously some people are going to be insanely quick, whether that's like racing and or being faster at different sets, or having really good like part builds on their vehicles and like good pro settings and stuff like that. So I do understand you obviously can set insanely high records. Now the other thing you could look at with this is most likely going to be like the exploiting side, and or people might be like abusing something that is obviously in the game. We do see this in many games for that matter, so it's not just going to be like the crew, but you have to admit, guys, certain things probably can get frustrating. So one of the biggest things I did see people discussing is probably going to be the back on the track, and or a way to like hit a checkpoint and or like spawn to like a certain place. That way it's giving you like a head start and or missing like a certain corner. So now, the other side of this, though, can easily come down to like the exploiting and stuff going on, which I would say that's probably going to be an issue. We did also see this in the crew too, so seeing this in Motorfest is probably not going to be insanely shocking. Now, the reason why I say that, though, guys, is obviously the back on the track thing, and or like I guess you could say spawning back after hitting like a checkpoint was also a thing in the crew 2 in many events. That also is probably going to be why in many races in Motorfest they most likely added more checkpoints. That way you probably couldn't skip like half the event and or do certain things, which obviously some events you can do so. But the other part I do look at with this, though, is yes, let's say there is obviously going to be a back on track issue. Maybe some way they could probably fix that is to remove it, but that would also raise some issues in certain areas because then you can't use it at all. And then of course you might mess up in a certain area and you obviously want to fix that, but doing that you then have to like restart the entire event. So that would also raise some more issues because now they will have to find a different way to have the back on track thing set up. So you most likely will have to do something different where you actually have to restart the entire event. And that way you can't like skip a checkpoint or like run over like an entire area, hit that checkpoint, back on track and basically skip the entire area. So there could be a couple of different ways they could do this, but I would probably say, guys, the easiest way to like remove that said back on track issue is to probably make it so you actually have to restart the entire race. Now that is most likely going to make a lot of people angry and or like argue the fact that yes, we do need the back on track thing, but is there a different way to do this? I would like to know your thoughts on this, guys. Do you think there might be a overall different way they could have the entire thing set up? That way they could try to eliminate some exploiting. Now, the issue with this, though, is obviously many people might see some stuff like this going on in a summit, and that might discourage them from actually wanting to jump into that said summit and or go after a car. So it can definitely be a bit of a concern for a new player trying to do a summit at least legit for that matter. So if you did see something like that going on, you're most likely going to go, well, why should I even bother trying to do this if people are cheating and or exploiting these events when I'm actually trying to do them legit for that matter? So I can definitely see this being a big argument, guys, and a different way they could probably fix it and or make things, I guess you could say, overall more of a balanced type of experience. But the other part of this I also look at is, yes, let's say there is actually cheating and or exploiting going on in Motorfest, which I would say is probably going to be a confirmed thing. Let me know again, guys, if you have noticed this and or where you are seeing it the most. But for me, guys, I would say the biggest concern to many people are probably going to be the part sets and how long they actually take to get these said sets. So I will be making more videos on this in the near future, so definitely stay tuned. But one of the class I went after, I do not even remember which one it was, took me like 5 hours to get a full chemist set for that said class. So obviously you're going to have to do many races to get them. Now the concern here with this, though, is let's say that does take you 5 hours. Let's say you then jump into a summit and try to get the best score you possibly can, but then you go and look at them and you're like, wait, how are these people that insanely quick, and or what are they actually doing to get these said scores in these events? Like, should I even bother? I can definitely see this being an issue and or like a concern to many people, so I really don't know how they could actually fix like an exploit and or the cheating going on, but I guess, guys, we will have to wait to see in the future if this will actually be addressed and or what are some of the ways they could actually address this and or fix it. I would like to know your thoughts on this in the comments below, guys. Like, are you seeing exploiting going on, and or do you see cheating going on in these summits that does honestly discourage you, and or make you not want to actually do some of these summits and or like PvP? So I would like to know your thoughts on this in the comments below, though, guys. Have you noticed any cheating going on in these summits and or even witnessed it? And do you think there is a big exploit issue going on with like the races and or summits, whether that comes down to like the events themselves or like the times players might be getting? I really do want to know what you guys think about this in the comments below, and what do you guys think is going to be the best way to fix it and or address this in the future to try to eliminate some of these issues?